It's getting cold outside. In an attempt to stay warm, I got my hands on an Ororo heated jacket and heated vest. This company specializes in clothing with built-in heaters designed to help keep you warm and toasty. And I love my tech, so this stuff is right up my alley. First, I gotta say, there is something satisfying about how their gear lights up when it's turned on. It's like you're Iron Man walking around. It definitely makes people curious. It certainly is fun to talk about, but is it any good? The first thing I like to talk about when reviewing products is the price, because the price can make a good product a bad deal. The heated vest costs $247 US and the heated jacket costs $288. Whew. That's not cheap. Although I imagine products like these cost more than your average jacket to make, fair enough, but still, that's a high price tag which sets some high expectations. So how well does it work? It works really well in some situations, but it doesn't work as well as I thought it would in really cold situations. Look, this is my first experience with using heated clothing. I don't know if my expectations were just set too high or what. Like on a cool day, if you're waiting around to pick up the kids from school or taking your dog out for a walk, it's great, but it's not magical. It alone is not going to keep you warm in sub-zero temperatures. The only way to really feel the heat from the heaters on your body is to wear something thin underneath, like a t-shirt or a long sleeve. And even though the heaters are nice, the material for the rest of the jacket just isn't that thick. In really cold weather, the jacket is just not warm enough when it's turned on, let alone if the battery runs out. So then I put on a sweater underneath the jacket, and now I can't feel the heaters. By then it's almost, what's the point, you know? This is not a parka replacement or something you buy as your main winter jacket. This is the type of thing that is perfect for short outings. Maybe hanging with your friends outdoors, at a brewery, or watching your kids play soccer. For that stuff, it's great. But would I want to wear this all day while skiing, hunting, or working outdoors in the freezing cold? I don't think it could quite handle that. With the vest, similar to the jacket, when you bundle up too much underneath, you can't feel the heat, which is what you want. So it really only becomes useful when the temperature calls for a long sleeve or flannel under a vest and you want to be toasty. And again, in that situation, it's really nice. But the vest is too poofy on its own to wear under a jacket, something I have attempted because it is nice to feel those heaters. But then you're so bundled up, you feel like that kid from A Christmas Story. Let's talk about the design. I think the design looks good. I was pleasantly surprised with the looks of both the vest and the jacket. And they even have nicer styles on their website. However, because it's folded during shipping, the collars come creased and they kind of stab you in the neck while wearing them. I don't love that. They say you can wash this clothing, so that or maybe ironing it would help, but I don't want to do that, so I fold it out every so often. A minor annoyance. The jacket comes with a detachable hood, which some people might use. It's nice to have the option. And the waist cinches up, which is nice to stop cool air from blowing up. However, the sleeves don't cinch up. This makes it easier to wear gloves with, but it does let in air if you don't have gloves. It would be nice to have an option there. The jacket is water resistant. It rains a lot around here, and I'm not worried at all about getting the coat wet. That's great. Let's talk about the batteries. The batteries are a reasonable size for what you'd expect. They plug into the jacket in their special compartment. You charge them up with USB. On the vest, the battery sits pretty much right on your hip bone. It's fine. You don't really notice it when you're out and about. With the jacket though, the battery is directly in the middle of the front pocket in front of your hip. This is mildly annoying for me because I keep my phone in the front left pocket. So now you have two devices stacked on top of each other. It's a bit thick. Honestly though, when you're out, you don't really notice. So that's fine. You gotta put them somewhere. The battery life seems to be true to what they claim, so no complaints there. There are 3 heat settings, but I pretty much always have it on high, so the battery will only last 2 to 3 hours. The only reason I could think of you not wanting to have it on high is if you are wearing the gear maybe inside. But again, for someone like me, that's fine. I'm home a lot. I can charge it up. The jacket battery seems to last longer than the vest, FYI. Also, the jacket and the vest are very different in how they heat. The jacket has heaters on the back and chest. The vest has heaters on the back, in the pockets, and on the neck. The neck heater, I think, is the winning ticket. I wish they had that on the jacket. Some people might like the heated pockets, but in my opinion, it's kind of a waste. If it's cold enough to need heated pockets, I'd rather just wear gloves and have my chest heated instead. The heating elements aren't quite perfectly placed on either garment. They're still good though, but again, this is not a cheap item, and that affects the final verdict. So, should you buy Ororo heated products? $300 is a lot of money. I can honestly say I really like wearing the jacket when I'm walking my kids to and from school on a chilly day. And it's cool when people notice the light on your chest and say, "What's that?" It's fun to talk about. I think for the price, the vest costs way too much money. I mean, I'm not really a vest guy, I guess. If it costs $120 to $150, that would be one thing, but close to $300, it's just too expensive to recommend. The jacket is a little more interesting. I like it, but let me be clear, this is not a winter coat. Even though it says on their website, "Do you hate the cold during the dead of winter?" The material on the coat and on the arms of the jacket is not suitable for sub-zero temperatures, in my opinion. It needs to be warm enough on its own if the battery dies, and it's not. That said, I still really like it for above zero temperatures. In the right temperature, for certain situations, it's amazing and super nice to have. To be completely honest, if the price was closer to $150 to $200 for the jacket, it would be easier to recommend. It's a really cool device. But for $300, I don't know if the value is there. It's not an outdoor work coat. It's not a winter jacket replacement. This is an addition to your existing lineup. If you can easily afford it or were able to receive it or give it as a gift, then yeah, I think it's worth it and it's a sweet gift. But if you're looking to spend your hard-earned money on a jacket that will keep you warm when it's freezing outside, I think your money is better spent elsewhere. I'd rather have something that would keep me toasty even if the battery dies. Ororo is doing some really neat things. They have some very cool items on their website that I am super curious about. I'm gonna keep my eye on them, and I've had a great experience communicating with them and can't wait to see what they do next. I think if you do decide to try the products, you won't be disappointed just as long as your expectations are set properly. It is 1 degree, so almost freezing, and I'm wearing the Ororo jacket. I have a fleece on underneath, and to be totally honest, I can't feel a thing. I have the jacket set on hot, and if I squeeze my jacket so that the back is really, the heaters are on my back, I can feel it. But otherwise, not so much. I wish it was a little bit warmer of a jacket. Perhaps if the coat itself was a little bit thicker, the elements would feel warmer. But it just doesn't feel that warm on its own with a sweater underneath it. Thank you so much for watching. I love reviewing all kinds of products. Check out my next review here, or maybe watch this one next. See you next time on The Sad Life.